when Ebola first came to Liberia, we knew about it at first because it was like way inside, and it was nowhere near close to us. We're like, okay, we're going to be fine, But then Ebola came into Monrovia itself, and when it came inside there, we were given very safe rules from the First Presidency and the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. And they were guided also with our mission president. He gave us these additional protective measures that were supported by the brethren. Like, we couldn't shake people's hands. We couldn't eat food off the street. We couldn't accept food from other people that they cooked for us. We weren't allowed to go to funerals. It's like you kind of lived in your own little bubble while you were out, still being a missionary. And that was really kind of what it was. We were given these rules. Not everybody always wanted to follow them because it was a test of faith. You're not seeing Ebola happen in front of you. A lot of Liberians, they're like, Ebola is a myth. Ebola is not real. But for us as missionaries, it was hard when we were also given the rule to not give blessings. We couldn't give blessings to people, and people would ask, "Can you give me a blessing?" And we would have to say, "We can't. We're sorry." That was really hard for me to say no, because they're coming to you for help, but you can't help them. It was hard because you're stuck between a rock and a hard place and you don't know what to do. But we were given those rules for around 4 months. We had those rules. And then one day, our mission president called us and he told us that no one was going out the next day, that we were being quarantined in our apartments, and that we couldn't accept calls from anyone outside except if they were a part of the mission, and we couldn't call anybody else. And so, we just kind of like, okay, this is just a phase, we'll be able to go out soon. So we were in quarantine for that day, and then the following day, our mission president called us and he read us a letter that had been given from the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, and he told us that we were being evacuated and that we weren't allowed to say goodbye to anybody. That we were being reassigned, recalled to different missions. And it was hard. It was hard, you have the phone in your hand and you have your investigators, your members, they're calling you and you have to ignore the call. You couldn't accept it. It was so hard because you love these people so much. I felt, looking back, I feel honored to have, gone through that. It's helped me gain an appreciation for people who do hard things, especially like the pioneers. You have to leave Nauvoo. You don't know why, but you have to go. And that was just very hard. So we packed. Then the next day, we all gathered together at the mission home. God organized, and we all went to the airport. And the church had chartered a flight for us. This whole plane to ourselves. We were thinking President Uchtdorf was going to fly it himself and get us out of there. And our flight was to go from Liberia to Ghana. But we take these vans that the mission paid for just to get us to the airport. We get there, and then the mission couples come out and they just yell, "Stop! Don't get out of the vans. Ghana's denied us access." So we were literally stuck at the airport. And it was just, well, now what do we do? The plane is there. You can't get on the plane because the plane isn't allowed into Ghana. And so our mission president, he was like a Moses. He was a Moses with this whole exodus of missionaries. He said, okay, we're going to go back. We're going to go back to the apartments. We're going to figure it out. And it was just, okay. So this is all within 24 hours. We get back inside the vans. We get to the mission home. We get divided into our different apartments, and we're told that we have to stay inside. Still no contact with people, no contact with the outside world, and that we're just going to wait it out, see what happens. I went to an apartment that I had been in previously. It was one of my favorite apartments. And the next day was Fast Sunday. And we were told specifically to fast so that we could leave, and to fast for the people of Liberia. And nobody told me, but I just knew, that the prophet was fasting for this. And that just does wonders when the prophet is doing something for you. So the next day was Sunday, and all of the African elders and sisters, they were taken then to the airport, and they went roundabout ways to their new missions. And then for the rest of us, we were still kind of stuck there on Sunday, because there was nowhere for us to go still. And on that day, I remember this apartment was overlooking the main road of Monrovia, and I remember looking at it, and I saw the Liberian army drive by. And they were going to go to shut down the borders. Liberia was having a national quarantine. And I just remember, feeling we have to get out. We have to get out of here. I don't know how, but we have to get out. But I was never scared. I felt very peaceful. I felt very calm. Literally, the promises that the Lord makes to his missionaries all throughout the Doctrine and Covenants is true. As a missionary, you're never alone. You're never alone, and those angels are around about you to bear you up. And Monday came around, and we all went back to the mission home. And that night, we got on a plane, and we left Liberia. We flew from Monrovia to Brussels in Belgium. Then from Belgium, we flew to London, and London to Accra. And when we got to Accra in Ghana, we were greeted at the airport with our new mission president, and we were off. We went off to our own new missions and tried the best we could to readjust again, get culture shock again, have a new mission president again, basically start from scratch a little bit. But I made it, so that's all that matters right now, and I'm just so happy that Liberia is open back up again. So excited to hear that.